Okay, so I believe we are now live. So if we are, hello everybody. I am Viper Racing or Viper Races on Twitch, or if you want to just cut the long story short, it's just Viper. This is Ford Street Racing. We're doing the solo racing gold percent category. Now I will be quite honest. From the get go, this category is a bit of a meme. We came up with the idea last year, and I say last year, it wasn't myself, but basically found out that well, I'm gonna let the game kind of speak for itself. So you can see here that we have 6 championships. We have Classic, Classic Pro, Performance, Performance Pro, High Performance, and High Performance Pro. Now, High Performance Pro being the most difficult, we could start there. But in all honesty, I'm gonna do Classic down to High Performance Pro, leaving the hardest stuff till the end, and we'll see what kind of a run that we actually get. So, the timer is not going to start until I actually load in game. So, we're going to pick our car for the Classic Championship, which is the Ford Mustang Boss 429. The performance will be picking the RS Cosworth, and we're picking the GT90, I believe it is, for the high performance. So, you'll see multiple championships done very, very quickly, and I'll show you exactly how. Anyway, if we're ready on time, obviously, I'm ready. So I'll give you a countdown, or should I say, I'll count down to when I actually get into the game, and obviously the timer will start, and you'll see the timer go, and off we go, and I'll explain the run a little bit more. So yeah, on that note, let's get this party started. So here we go. So, here we go. And we're off. Okay, so, first things first, welcome to the Classic Championship, Solo Racing Classic Championship. So, one thing that I need to mention straight away is how busted this category is, which, as you can see, is done and dusted straight away. And you're like, wait, what the heck are you doing? So, there's not going to be as much racing in this game as you might expect. So what we found out, or what was found out, is once upon a time this game had a fairly standard racing category. It was called Solo Racing. Solo racing was basically this game's side mode, shall we call it. So the side mode for this is normally you're supposed to race and do several laps around each of these circuits and beat the AI around you. Obviously, the AI puts up more of a challenge in the pro championships than it does in the regular ones. Anyway, so we get to not long ago. And also not exactly a great start here by myself for this one, but never mind. So, long story short, we were just messing around one day. Also, nice driving by the AI there. And what we found out is that if you get to the front of the AI and you retire when you're at the front and you're in the lead of the race, the game automatically counts it as a win, even though you'll score 0 points. You'll actually score maximum amount of points. So, like this, for example. So we beat the championship. We've got no points, but we get a gold for that, which is really fun. So yeah, and that's pretty much how this category works. So originally this category was around an hour and 25 minutes. But if you play this category, it cuts over an hour of gameplay. So rather than having to actually, be decent at this game and everything, we don't actually have to do that. The later races are more difficult, I will be honest. So the Classic Pro are a lot more difficult than the Classic. But obviously then as we get further into the championships, you'll see how much more difficult they get. Up until we get to high performance, the runs shouldn't be too difficult. There is one particular race more than any other that I'm not a massive fan of, which is coming up. Can't quite remember which one it is, but yeah. So basically, one of these races, it's not that good. It's not that easy. Yeah, once we get past the Classic Pro, this is it. It's Chinatown. It's this one. So for some reason, the AI can actually drive really well on this track. I do not know why, but they seem to be able to drive really well. So what we're going to do is, obviously I'm just going to quickly concentrate, so just briefly excuse me for this one. Yeah, as I said, so this game actually has racing and championships and stuff. Yeah, it has like racing and championships and stuff. Now, the other thing I'll point out as well is that obviously we're doing the solo racing thing right now. However, the main thing that I'd like to point out, that was actually really good. Wow, what a giant sound that was. I'm surprised that actually went quite well. Is the fact that this game also has a team racing championship. So the team racing one works a lot more different. I do believe that we can't do the same trick that we can in the solo racing for the team racing, but again, we'll never actually know. Now, the one thing I will mention is that when you start this game from a new game, you can win the championship. It'll say best medal earned or something. Will be what is it like? Yeah, the best medal earned will be something like, I don't know, like it'll say gold, but you won't have actually come first in it, as you can see. So that is the classics all done. Now we're on to performance. Now, believe it or not, the fastest car isn't actually oh wow, this is going to be such a cakewalk. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be a big cakewalk. Wow, okay. Neat. So in the performance, we actually have two cars that we can pick from that are very, very fast. We have the RS Cosworth, as you can see, which is what we're using. And there's also the SVT Cobra Mustang, which you can also see is in front of us. The Mustang is actually slower than the Cosworth. Even though it boasts like far better speed and things like that, its cornering ability, although this one's being a pain, is that its cornering ability is absolutely terrible. That was a pretty bad second race, but we'll gloss over that. For the most part, though, we've actually got really lucky here. So on the performance, you get the trucks. As we get into Performance Pro, you'll see just how much more difficult the game can get. As I said, you've got the high performance, which are a lot more difficult, even on the regular championship. But yeah, for the most part, it's a pretty fun little category. And like I said, anyone can do this. Anyone can, even if you're not that good at racing games, can definitely give this a try. And the other thing is, as well, is that getting hold of this game is quite easy. I believe you can still pick it up on Steam. Not only that, not only can you pick it up on Steam, but you can get hold of a full game save, like a complete game save, or several completely game saves. Luckily, the internet is the source for that. I'm not going to tell you where to get them, but you know, there you go. This game is also classed as abandonware as well, which is quite interesting, all things considered. We've not got a very lucky race one here, because we've got to chase down the Mustang. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do other than chase this guy down. We have to be in the lead to retire. That's the one thing to keep in mind here. So the AI might not play ball the whole time. We just have to hope that they do. This gun in particular, so that, like I said, the thing's a lot faster in a straight line compared to us. But luckily, as I said, we have the acceleration to do it. They've got the top speed, we have acceleration, so it's not too bad. And hopefully I'll get past this guy. There we go. Took a lot longer than I expected that, but that's fine. We can work on that, that's fine. So we've actually had a question being put in chat, which has an interesting, or should I say, rather straightforward answer. So, abandonware, or at least in my book, or at least how I view it, is the fact that... Hang on a minute, let me just get past this Mustang, hopefully I can get past him. Is the fact that the game has been basically abandoned by its developer. I really wish it hadn't been. Also, interesting. That's not exactly a good canyon road. But yeah, basically it's no longer supported by the developers. Yeah, this race has been pretty bad. Oh my god. It's a lot worse than I anticipated. I did do practice of this yesterday and a couple of days ago. This race didn't go nearly as bad, but again, this is what the game can do. I'm just hoping the Super Pro, the high performance goes a lot better than this. It's funny as well because I was like, oh yeah, this will go a lot easier. So this game was released in 2005. It also got an arcade release as well. There's one other thing to point out, which is the fact that this game released around the same time that you had all of them licensed games. Obviously, a lot of games are licensed, but there was Chevrolet got in on the act with Corvette, and Ford and Chevrolet actually starred in their own little spin-off game, which was called Ford versus Chevy. It was more of an American exclusive, although you can buy European versions of the game on the original Xbox, which had, obviously, the two titans face off head-to-head against each other. And honestly, it was a lot better of a game than I actually thought. Originally, I wasn't too keen on the game, because I think there was a lot wrong with it. But genuinely speaking, it wasn't too bad. I think I just picked the right car. So, welcome to high performance. High performance is very difficult. So, the car that we're using is this thing that you can see in front of us. These are the GT90s. The GT90s are exceedingly quick. They've got very good handling as well. As you can see, our speed accelerates tenfold. There's one other thing as well. I don't know if this makes such a big difference, but I found that playing this game at 30 FPS to be a lot easier in terms of driving mechanics. I don't know why, but yeah. Also, you'll notice as well that the Ford GTs tend to have like a really good launch compared to the GT90s. Also, this corner for some reason loves to be a pilot corner. In a straight line, the Ford GTs don't do too bad, but the GT90s are pretty good at what they do. Also, the AI for some reason brakes in a straight line. I do not know why. I've not a clue why that's a thing, but yeah, here we go. That's actually pretty good that we've got that done so fast. Now you can see as well that we're already coming up. Alright, we're over halfway to our estimate, and we've just got a couple of races to go. Now I will say, as I said before, the game does get a lot more difficult, so expect a bit more driving on some of these races. Mainly because of the fact that getting to the front when all the AI is also on edge or is also trying to do the same thing is pretty difficult. So you can do that if you wish to do so. You can cut corners, providing as long as you're ahead when you pause the game, it's fine. So this is the high performance, the end of the high performance. The Pro is what is coming up next, and that is, in my opinion, the hardest championship in the entire game. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, I don't get screwed too badly here. No, ideally, I want to be driving better than that. It's not good. Also, I can see that first place has already bombed it up the road, which isn't good. And this is very slow. The thing is, the AI does get in your way a lot, as you can see. I'm actually playing this one safe for the time being, because I'm pretty sure I can... There we go. Because I can get in front like that, as you can see. Also, that is not the hardest championship, but near enough the hardest. Now we get to the real villain of this game. Or of this category, should I say. The High Performance Pro class. Now, this is hit and miss as to whether you get it or not. Personally, for me, I always struggle with this one, no matter what. It doesn't matter how good I've had it in the past, it's still a bit difficult. That was really good. My god, that was really good. So, thank God for that, that's one done. Okay, so. I did practice this one yesterday. Intersection reverse has to be the hardest race in the game. If you don't get this, you'll find it really difficult as time goes on. This race can last over a lap or two. The one thing I will mention is, luckily our car, as I said before, our car does have a better straight line speed, so we are able to get past the AI. The only problem is when you get to this corner now, is the AI puts their brakes on like super early. And luckily, if I'm careful enough and I'm smart enough about this, yep, I can do that. There we go. Neat. So we now got to Venice Speedway. There we go. So Venice Speedway can usually go one of two ways. Hopefully it doesn't go too bad. With a bit of luck. And the last race is actually, believe it or not, the worst. I didn't smash into anything this time. That's always good. That's always a good sign. So you can actually get in front of these two guys if you're fast enough. Like that. And then, yeah, this brings us nicely onto the last race, which is Pacific Highway. So, I don't know if we'll get this, but we're pretty close with my personal best at the moment. So, this race in particular happens to be very difficult. There we go. That's time. That is the run, and as you can see, we have gold. So we have beaten all 6 championships with a gold medal, and also, believe it or not, that was just short of about 0.8 of a second off my PB. I think it was altogether half a second off my PB. I was absolutely miles behind at one stage during that. But yeah, that was near enough close to my PB. I will just mention as well, really quick, is that with this run from start to finish, is that, as I said, the main problem with the game as a whole, I know it's not really a good thing when you start saying main problem, but the main problem with this game is that the AI is quite aggressive and quite random at times. It's also dependent on where the AI decides to switch to. So for the most part, you're obviously going to have a pretty tactical time with trying to just hopefully outplay the AI. The whole thing, really, the whole point with this game is, this category is, like I said, you just get to the front and then retire. It's dead easy. There is actually, I just want to quickly briefly mention the other categories that I didn't really talk about. So you have the solo race and gold percent, which is what you just saw, where you just get to the front of every race and retire once you hit the lead. There's the regular solo racing category, where you can actually, if you're lucky enough, you can beat 3 races legit and then retire from the last one, and still manage to win the championship. If that's the case, the category is like, I think like a 1 hour 9, but if you want to do it all legit, it's like an hour and 20 something minutes, an hour and 25, hour and a half. There's a team racing any percent, a team racing 100%. That is basically where you take control of 2 cars. You have to go through all 6 championships and beat them all as fast as possible using tactical play. So that is not just a case of you're racing your own car and that's it. You get one car to the front and you've got to bring another car from behind or make sure the guy in front defends. There's a lot of tactical play going on with that one. There's a challenge percent, I think it is, or something like that, or just challenges, which I think it's something like 60 challenges or 50. It might be a bit less than that. That are in all sorts of different cars, whether it's, you've got to get to like race to the front, you'll have to beat a certain amount of laps, do a certain amount of laps around a circuit, beat a certain time. There'll be like a head-to-head race, things like that. knockout races, team knockout races. There's like a wide variety, which I believe is around 2 hours or so, just short of 2 hours. And then, of course, there is the game 100%, where you beat all the solo races, all of the team races, all the challenges. I think that's it, and that's about 4.5 to 5 hours altogether. So there are other categories out there. This is the shortest, but in my opinion, it's not the easiest category to get into. I would say the solo racing 100%, like where you just have to beat all the championships legit. In my opinion, that's more of an easier category. Yes, it's a lot longer, but it's less stressful about getting to the front because you've got a lot more laps to do it, and it's a lot more based on driving. Once you're at the front, you can pull away from the AI. It's a bit more difficult in this category because obviously you want to do it in as little time as possible. Hence the reason why the category is as short as it is and the times are as short as they are. Obviously, I think that just about wraps up Ford Street Racing. Feel free to give this game a try. As I said, I believe you can still get hold of it on Steam, but if you can't, it is classed as abandonware, which means that the publisher is no longer, I say publisher, the people who license it, they no longer have. Sigma put it in the chat about not longer having a license company. You can get hold of this game via, I won't say how, but you can get hold of this game quite easily, in my opinion, without going into detail on anything else. But we'll leave that there. But yeah, if you feel like joining in on the shenanigans that is Ford Street Racing, or indeed any of the other Ford Racing games, because there is a wide variety, we do have a Ford Racing Discord. You can find that on any of the Ford games located on speedrun.com. Yep, I've been Viper. I will catch you all in a couple of hours for, I believe it's Colin McRae Rally 2005 Engage, which is for quite an interesting time. Let's put it that way. It's very interesting with its shenanigans. But yeah, I'll catch you all in a couple of hours, and I'll let the host take it away to. I say the host. I'll let Tech sort it out and go back to intermission. Thank you very much. Right. I presume I'm